All right, welcome back to Tennessee This Week, everyone. I'm Kristen Farley. Time now to hear from our panel of pundits today. We have the good gang with us today. Joining us now, WATE 6 on Your Side healthcare analyst Craig Griffith, WATE 6 on Your Side political contributor Courtney Piper, and WATE 6 on Your Side political analyst George Corda. Good to see all three of you back today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a while since the whole gang has been together.
That's right. Yes, yeah.
We just heard from Knox County's new sheriff, Tom Spangler. First of all, we have to address that he wanted to go off and become a professional fisherman. Was anyone surprised by the way that interview ended there?
Yes, and he just casually mentioned it.
Nothing wrong with being a fisherman.
No, nothing at all.
That's probably why many people were attracted to him in the first place. Just a regular guy that likes to fish.
He may yet wish he'd done that.
Yeah. That's true. Of course, you know, his office is close to the river. He could throw a line out the window there.
Hopefully he'll be busy doing other things. Let's talk about that. What did you guys think about his interview? Did he give the people of Knox County some confidence in where this office is going? Courtney, what do you think?
Well, we heard from him when he was running, and I think this contributed to his surge, is that he was going to be very deputy focused, very kind of HR focused. And you see that with some of his priorities that he rattled off in terms of decreasing shifts for the sheriff deputies so that they come to work fresh and ready to go and they're not exhausted and tired. You heard that when he talked about jail overcrowding, because he made a point of saying that we have so many more inmates in our system, but we haven't hired more correctional officers to make sure that tensions are managed and the population is managed. And also just wanting to make sure that we maintain and improve relationships within the community. So you are seeing some of his more HR, human capital centric priorities play out just in his first couple of days in office.
George, was there anything that you have seen or heard from Spangler so far that surprised you?
No, and the thing is, he's new in office. And at this point in time, it's a little bit like the kickoff just before the Alabama game. Optimism is high and nothing bad has happened. And so that's the situation all office holders are in, or most are when they take office. He's going to have a lot of things to deal with. If he runs the sheriff's office anywhere close to the efficiency as which his campaign was run, he's going to do fine. But there are issues. For example, J.J. Jones used to say a lot that the sheriff's department was spending $500,000 a year just on psychotropic drugs at the detention center. It's the largest mental health facility in East Tennessee, I think. So there are all kinds of issues a sheriff has to face, and now it's Tom's chance to do it.
Craig, what do you think that people really want to see from this office?
Well, I think that he's fulfilling his campaign promises. He's pretty much gone down the list in the first week in office, making the changes to the scheduling and things like that. I think what is really going to be happening is the dynamics between the new county mayor and the new sheriff. How is that going to work out? Because Tom has talked about, you know, new correctional space, new jail space, and things like that cost money. And the county mayor is on the side of, well, you know, we're going to have to figure out where that new money is going to come from, because I don't think he's going to go for a tax increase. So we'll have to see how that dynamic works out. I have faith that both of them can work together and come up with some good solutions for the people of Knox County. But in the end, you know, we've seen it between the sheriff and the county mayor. We've seen it between the schools and the county mayor. You know, it all comes down to money.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here as the months move on. Let's go ahead on to another big topic from this past week. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee this week in confirmation hearings. There were protests, a lot of them. Some lawmakers tried to get some concrete answers about his views on the president. Others complained about the White House holding back records on Kavanaugh. Now, the big question, George, let's start with you. And we were talking about all of the protests and really, frankly, almost how difficult it is to watch these confirmation hearings. Is all of this going to matter in the end?
Well, no, he's going to get confirmed. It's a 51-vote level now. When Harry Reid was Democratic Majority Leader, they lowered the threshold when Obama was president to 51 for federal judges and such. McConnell dropped it to 51 for Supreme Court justices. So he's going to get confirmed. What we're watching is play acting. You got some senators who are pandering to primary voters in the 2020 elections, in 2020 primaries, because they want to look good for constituency groups that they know they're going to need. And you've got others that actually want to get something done. You've got others who desperately want another conservative on the Supreme Court. So this whole charade has nothing to do with the Senate advising and consenting on a Supreme Court nominee. It has everything to do with how can we come out looking the best to the people that are important to us out of all this.
Courtney, what do you think about that?
Here's why you're seeing so many tensions happen with this particular Senate confirmation hearing. A couple of years ago, there was a vacancy in the Supreme Court, and President Obama put forth the nominee, and Mitch McConnell said, we're not going to hold hearings, you know, see you later. And so now the Republicans have created this perfect storm for themselves with all these tensions, so they have no one to blame for themselves. Everyone keeps saying that the process of a Supreme Court nominee is supposed to be, like George said, advise and consent, barring anybody's, maybe you just want to make sure the person is qualified. So, like, I don't have a law degree, I am not a judge, I shouldn't be a Supreme Court nominee. I mean, it's very basic stuff like that. So the Republicans have created this perfect storm of tension for themselves by refusing to hold hearings for President Obama's nominee.
Craig, do you agree?
It's just political theater. It's gotten totally away from a, quote, confirmation hearing. We know this is going to be, because of the levels in the Senate, he's going to be confirmed. But the Republicans haven't done themselves any favor, you know, dumping out 42,000 pages of his work, you know, the night before the confirmation hearing. That doesn't work out well either. So it's just become theater, and you know, I don't know whether we can just simply do this by acclamation from now on, so that we can just have him passed and we don't have to sit through these confirmation hearings anymore. I mean, they're devolved into where Gorsuch didn't answer any heavyweight questions, you know, and so Kavanaugh is following the same plan as Gorsuch. So.
You can't sit there and ask a judge, how will you rule? You can't do it. They're never going to say how they're going to rule.
All of these proceedings that have gone on this whole past week, and it will continue, what do you think this is doing to the American people's confidence in Washington as a whole?
Look,
if the conservatives don't like Roe versus Wade, and this guy votes to do away with Roe versus Wade, they're very happy. But if you're a liberal and you want Roe versus Wade, the people are going to be mad.
The confirmation process and these hearings are very important. It's part of fundamentally who we are as Americans in our Constitution, to have this kind of check and balance. And these judges should be vetted. They should be able to ask questions, hard questions, silly questions, whatever questions they want to ask. It's really important. And in this particular case, what we're looking at, and I think why people are so fixated on this particular nominee, is because a lot of legal scholars think that where the Mueller investigation is going, that it will eventually end up in the Supreme Court in something related to, can the president pardon himself? Can you indict a current president? Something related to that. And so people are really nervous about what this potential nominee might have to say about all that, where his thinking is.
Well, it could easily be the fifth vote on cases. And as people pointed out during the last election, you know, if the millennials who didn't vote because they didn't like either one of the candidates, we all knew that coming down the road was going to be numerous Supreme Court nominees, and that's what's happening.
Look, the far right and the far left are getting everything they want out of these hearings. It's the people in the middle, the people, the average American who's looking at all of these people getting up and screaming and having to be pulled out. Even a Democratic National Committee woman said today, this is not helping us. These protests are not helping us. It actually drives down the negatives for everybody.
We're going to leave that right there. Still to come, everyone. Washington, D.C. in a tailspin, speaking of, from an anonymous op-ed to a tell-all book, the accusations and finger-pointing coming your way next. Stay with us. You're watching Tennessee This Week on WATE 6 on your side.